Hello, Keto family, welcome back. Today we're going to be making tortilla chips. If this is your first time with us, don't forget hit the subscribe button below and the bell icon so you don't miss upcoming videos. Let's get started, guys. I hope this video finds all of you well right now during this COVID-19 outbreak. I want to do something fun, something snacky, because I know we're all kind of cooped up in our houses, not much getting out, and we all have those snack attacks, right? So before we get started, as a reminder, everything I'm using today will be listed down in the description below, and then at the end of the video will be a nutritional information card so you know what your macros will be when you eat these chips. To get started, and here I have a half a cup of almond flour. It's already been sifted. Make sure you sift your powders and your flours before you use them, guys, okay? And into that cup of almond flour, I'm going to mix in 4 tablespoons of sifted coconut flour. And then I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flaxseed meal. I got 2 teaspoons of psyllium husk powder. I've got 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese. And then I got my seasonings here. And for the seasonings, I have a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of pink Himalayan sea salt, a half a teaspoon of no salt. If you've seen any of my other videos, you've probably seen I'm a big fan of the no salt. It has a high potassium content. And then I also have a teaspoon of turmeric that help give these that nice color as well as good flavor. Now that all the dry ingredients are in, we're going to give it a quick stir. Now that those are all mixed, we're going to add our wet ingredients. I have a 1/3 cup of warm water. It's not hot, it's just a little warmer than room temperature. You don't want to use cold for this. And that was 1/3 cup. And then I have a tablespoon of olive oil. All right, we're going to stir all these together and get it good and mixed. Once I get this mostly combined, I find it's a little bit easier to get in with my hands to finish mixing it together into a good dough. It might seem a little bit dry, but I promise this works out delicious in the end. All right, now that our dough is all ready to go, I'm going to get a couple sheets of parchment paper. The trick here is to get this rolled as thin as you possibly can. The thinner these chips are, the crispier they're going to be. If they're a little bit thick, they're going to actually taste more like crackers. If you've seen my other cracker video, they'll be more like those. But you want these as thin as you possibly can. And I find that when I make these, they tend to stick a little bit to the parchment paper after I cook them. So I'm going to go ahead and lightly spray this with some olive oil cooking spray. That just helped me release them easier later. And now I got my biggest cookie sheet, and I find that get these as thin as they need to. There's always a little bit extra left over, so I'm actually using 2 cookie sheets today. So I'm going to get about 2/3 of the dough and put it on this cookie sheet. Just kind of press it a little bit flat so I can roll it out. Alright, and then we're going to roll this as thin as we possibly can. This will take a few minutes. I'll be right back with you when I'm done. I can't tell you how much easier it is to roll this particular recipe out than those Fathead dough crackers I was making. Oh, so much easier. Alright guys, so I just finished rolling the first one out, and you want this dough thin enough that if you hold it through the light, it's almost see-through. You want it paper thin. That'll just make it crispier for you. So we're good. I'm going to peel this top layer off. It looks just like cornmeal. I love this. Alright, I'm going to slide this onto the baking sheet. If it curls up a little bit on the edges, that's not a big deal because, I mean, come on, sometimes tortilla chips are curved. I think it just gives it character. Alright, I'm going to sprinkle some salt on top of these. No exact amount. This is salt to taste. Alright, this one's ready to go into the oven, but I'm going to roll out the other one. I'm going to put them in together. Alright, now that we've got both sheets of dough rolled as thin as we possibly can, I'm going to go ahead and cut it with the pizza cutter so that after they bake, all I gotta do is pop them apart and have nice chips. You can cut these with a butter knife. You can make triangles, squares, whatever you prefer. Mine kind of resembles triangles because I don't take the time to make it perfect, but you can make it any shape you want to make them in. I'll go ahead and All right, now I cut the second sheet. All right, these are done. And oh, almost forgot, I gotta put salt on the smaller sheet. So the oven is already set at 400 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and bake these. I'm gonna start at 12 minutes and then just start checking them every minute or two after that. What I tend to do is when I'm checking them, they'll get done on the edges first before they get done in the middle. So as the edges start to get done, I'll actually pop those off and put them in a bowl on the side and then continue cooking the center because I want them all crispy. I don't want any soft ones from the middle but crispy ones from the outside. So I'm gonna stick these in. I'll let y'all know how long it took altogether. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, lovely. So these have come out of the oven and they are absolutely perfect. What I ended up doing is I checked them at 8 minutes and some of the ones on the edges had cooked completely and I didn't want them to burn. So I popped them off and threw them in the bowl and then put the rest back in for 3 minutes and it cooked perfectly. As a note of caution, however, make sure your rack is not on the highest shelf it can be on. Make sure it's down in the middle. Last time I made these, I left the rack too high and I ended up burning these pretty decently on the edges. Just make sure you cook them in the middle of your oven, not the top of your oven. And that they're done, they're crispy. My husband says not the tortillas from Chili's, but these are actually for low carb the best little chips he's had. So absolutely wonderful. Feel free to share this recipe with anybody that you know can use a good low carb tortilla chip recipe. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up down below. It helps the channel. Until next time, guys. Bye.